3-generation punishment. So if I voted against the state, I would go to prison, my son would go to prison, and if he had a son or a daughter, they would be born in prison and spend the
And
rest of their
parents.
life in prison because their blood is guilty blood.
Is that you cannot ask why you're there.
You cannot ask why you're there.
Then you get executed.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they take them and play with their organs and see what helps to make the dictator live forever.
He wants to live forever.
And put him in the center, and then you use an aircraft gun to shoot him, not just guns. So when you shoot somebody like that, you become literally like pieces of meat. So North Korea is a homogeneous country. We are like same genetics, same people, same culture, same language. There's no diversity in that.
No tribes, no different areas. Everybody's just
Korean.
Okay.
Yeah, we were the same Korea with the South Korea. We had a 5,000 years of shared history, same country, as a same country. So that's unique. What was based upon from that division was, I think something similar to right now, America, is what your ancestors did. That their loyalty towards the party's ideology.
Okay.
So it's not about individual's choice. You cannot join another class. Basically, when Kim Il-sung came into power in the middle 40s and the 1950s, that's when he came and then realized, okay, who was a landowner, who was a capitalist, who was an intellectual, who was a farmer. And based on their status, their children's status get determined forever. And that's how they say when I was born in the country, my great-great-grandfather had some land in his yard. And they said I had the oppressor genes. And my blood was tainted because of his actions.
Wow.
So that's how your status gets determined. So in a way that America, we divide people based on race. In North Korea, they do that based on the, I think, ideology, what people back then believed in.
Okay. So your grandpa owned land. Did they just take the land from him?
Yeah, so that was my mother's side.
Okay.
And my father's side was better. So that's why my father became a party member. And my mother's side, I think they weren't.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do they confiscate? Do you know how they confiscate the land? Do you remember, or were you too young, or?
So it was just stories we hear, right? It's in the 50s they had a land reform, and that was when the regime was promising to North Korean people that we are going to abolish poverty and inequality in any forms. We are going to be all equally doing well. Everything is going to be taken care of by the government. Everything will be free. Healthcare is going to be free. Housing is going to be free. The food is going to be free. Everything is going to be free. Nobody can ever trade anything, but nobody can ever own anything. They abolished private property. So nobody can own a home. They cannot own a cow. They can own a car. They can't own a house. They cannot own anything. So, but the thing is, at the time, North Koreans actually believed that that was a paradise, socialist paradise, right? We are equally doing all well. So for that little, people gave everything to the regime at the time, and there was not much of battle between the people giving that to the regime. And some people who did not disagree, they get executed, obviously. There are 3 generations get executed along with the people who rebel against the
I
parties.
read this. I saw this also in my research, I watched some documentaries on North Korea. That way some of your story was still surprising to me. So one of the things that I saw was that if you go against the state, or if you commit a crime, or if you vote the wrong way, then you'll be imprisoned. What came was that they voted against the state. I would go to prison, my son would go to prison, and if he had a son or a daughter, then they would be born in prison and spend the rest of their life in prison because their blood is guilty blood. Right. Is that across the board over there, no matter what the crime is, or is there a severity, or?
Yeah, so there's no way you can vote wrong way because North Korea election only has one person on the ballot, and it's a open, like guards standing there watching you. and there's only one choice on the ballot. So you cannot wrong, like you cannot vote for a different person.
Okay.
It's a joke, right? It's like,
Yeah.
or like charade, it's a show. But if you start something against a party, like, okay, I don't believe in communism, then you, of course, get killed. You get executed, obviously, for that. But then your parents, your sisters, brothers, your children, your grandchildren, and up to sometimes 8 generations.
8
Yeah.
generations.
So even the in-laws gets arrested. So your wife's, their family, the in-laws go together with you.
Just for disagreeing with the state.
Yeah. So one person that I know in South Korea, he was born. I mean, he went to political prison camp when he was 8 years old. And the very first thing when you arrest and go to political prison camp is that you cannot ask why you're there.
You cannot ask why you're there.
Then you get executed. So nobody knows why they end up in the prison. And then for him, he learned many years later that his grandfather, a long time before, one day he was getting drinks with his friend. And then under the alcohol influence, he somehow showed a disagreement with the party's line. But later that friend remembered that saying and then reported to the police. That's what he said while they were getting a drink. So he ended up in prison camp, but he could not ask the regime, why did I get here? So most people don't know why they ended up in the prison camp.
Is there any way to get out of it?
No.
You're in there for life. There's
political
one
prison.
sentence, and that's a life sentence.
And most of them don't last more than 3 months. Usually you die from the exhaustion and torture. So,
Oh man.
because the North Korean regime needs these people. They do a lot of chemical tests on them because they are developing bio weapons, and then they doing so much nuclear tests. They need to have the people to clean those debris.
Oh.
So they need this labor.
So they use the
Political
prison labor.
camps. Yeah.
So they're torturing. They're doing experiments, and they're using them to clean up nuclear
Debris.
waste, which is
Death.
huge exposure to radiation, which will obviously kill you.
Yeah.
What kind of experiments are they?
Many different experiments. Like even during the Nazi Germany, they test on different gas. They test on different like injections because they develop a lot of poisons. Because that they commit a lot of assassin attempts. Right, they killed their brother in Malaysia with those poisons. So they test on different poison, how it kills or not. And they even just cut off their organs and like body tissues to check, how to study some medicine so they can make the dictator, their leader, live forever. So there's more than 10,000 doctors dedicated in North Korea to find a way to make Kim live forever. So in this study, they need a lot of inmates.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they take them and play with their organs and see what helps to make the dictator live forever.
He wants to live forever.
Yeah,
So that's the big experiment.
yeah. Huge. It's called like 만수무강 연구소. It's like the eternal life research institute. They have like 10,000 doctors. Just all day long they are studying that how they can make the dictator live forever.
What do the doctors think about the dictator?
You cannot think about it. In North Korea, even if you're a doctor, you don't get paid a $1 salary each month. You're a slave. You don't choose to become a doctor. They tell you to become a doctor.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can have an opinion for anything there.
So back to the prison camps. They have a 3-month life expectancy.
On average, yeah.
If they're going to, let's say you get a sentence where they're going to execute you, and you don't even know what you're being executed
Right.
for.
Yeah.
How long are you? Is it like America where you're on death row, or do they just get it done immediately?
It depends when they want to make a case out of you, like want to create a fear to the people. So when Kim Jong-un killed his own uncle, Jang Song-taek, remember when he came into power and then he one day arrested his uncle publicly? Basically what he did was